Okay, so this is part 3. So what I'd like you guys to do now is we're going to add some fire to her torso here. And so I'm going to open up that same fire image that we used before. So let me find. So go to that fire image texture folder. It should be in the L drive. And again, you have different ones that you can choose from. And you can also, transform them, free transform them and make them smaller and sort of contorted. So I'm just going to grab this one. So you just want to open in Photoshop. So right click, open with, and then you can select Photoshop. I think it's right there. And again, to see both at the same time, you go to Window, Arrange, and then you have several options. I like to use Float All in Windows. And then you'll do the same thing that you did when you were working on the hair. You're going to use your Move tool, and then you're going to drag this image. And then this Paste Profile Mismatch will come up. Just say OK, and boom, you have it. And so then you can go ahead and close that original fire image texture. And if you look up here, you have this fire texture copy. You don't want it over here in the layers. You don't want it to be at the very top. So I'm going to ask you to move it, and just move it below your first fire texture. Okay, like that. And then you're going to go to your blending mode, and you're going to select, I think it's Vivid Light. Oops, that's not working. Let me figure out what I'm doing. Okay, I messed up. So I moved the wrong layer. So make sure you're moving the right layer. It probably says layer 1 because you renamed your other ones. And then again, just make sure that it is below your first fire texture. So it's the first one before the other ones that you did before. And then you do want to change the blending mode to Vivid Light. So you can see it's a little bit different. It still looks like you're on fire, but it has a different sort of feel to it than the screen did. Then you're going to go to your Edit and Free Transform. And so what you want to do is sort of, and actually if you want, make sure you hit View and Fit on Screen so you can see the entire image. And again, sort of rotate it and bend it. You can move it so that it covers her. In my case, I want it to cover her face and her body or her torso. And again, you can spend some time on this. You can enlarge it, shrink it down, and again, do what you need to do for whatever image you're working with, because I know they're different. And don't be afraid to spend some time on this. And when you have it the way you want, then again, don't forget to hit the Enter key to confirm that you've changed it. Okay, next we're going to add a filter. So again, make sure you're in layer 1 or the right layer, the one that is covering her body. And you're going to go to Filter, and you're going to select Blur, and then we're going to choose Gaussian Blur. And some of you have used this before, and so you want to change the radius. And you can kind of see it changing, and you want to do something between 13 and 15 pixels. And you can also type in here because now I think you can see her body a little bit more clearly. So I'm going to stick at 14.1, and you decide what looks best on your image. And then when you're done, you hit OK. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is, you're still in that layer, and we're going to do a layer mask. So if you go down to the bottom of your layer palette, there should be like a little square with a dot inside. You want to click that on, and then you're going to go over to your brush tool, just the good old-fashioned brush tool, and select that, and then go up to this tool menu bar up here, and you know, you want to change your brush size a little bit to something. What I'm going to try to do is sort of get rid of some of these flames that are outside of her body, and make sure you have a soft brush, and then you just kind of, oops. Okay, there we go. I don't know what happened there. I just kind of, you know, this, oops, I did it too much. So again, just edit step backwards if you make a mistake. Okay, I had to start over. So just kind of, you know, get rid of the flames. I'm going to try doing this again. I don't know why it turns white, but anyway. I think we're going to end up getting rid of those white lines eventually, so. And then again, if there's anything around the hair, you know, just anything that, oops, shouldn't do that. Oops. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to try to get rid of some of this white, these sort of white lines. And so what you want to do is go down to File, Copy To, and then you're going to create a new blank layer. So do that by going down to the very bottom of the layer palette, and it looks like a piece of paper with a little corner folded. So you click on that, and then you're going to grab your brush tool, or it probably is already selected, and again, you want to make sure this foreground and background color are set so that black is the foreground, white is the background. And then you just kind of go over, and you know, you can change your brush size if you need to. I might get a bigger one for the hair, and it just kind of gets rid of those and you still want a soft line. And again, I didn't tell you before, you do want the opacity and the flow to be at 100%. And you just kind of get rid of that sort of white, sort of distracting stuff. Be careful, don't go over the body. But just in the hair, you know, wherever you have any white areas. There, that looks better. Okay, now we're going to go to the very top layer, so highlight that, and then we're going to add an adjustment layer. So if you go down to the bottom, you want to select the circle that's like half white and half black. So click on that, and we're going to choose hue and saturation. Or is it color balance? I think it's color balance, sorry. And you know, we're going to play with these colors. I think for the red, you want to kind of push it to 32. And I think I'm doing this wrong. Hold on. Okay, my bad. I made a mistake. So go ahead and take that layer, it says color balance, and just either delete it or, yeah, just delete it, and we're going to do it again. So again, go down, grab that half circle that's white and black, and we want to select color balance. That's what I did before. Okay, again, I messed up. So get rid of that layer, make a new adjustment layer, and we want to select, I'm sorry, hue and saturation. I sometimes get those confused. Okay, so this should work. So for hue, you might want to kind of bump it up to about, maybe 8, where it looks best for you. You don't want it to get too green. Maybe 17. And then saturation, maybe like 10. Or 11. And then you want to leave your lightness at 0. Alright, and to get rid of that, you just kind of click that, the double arrows. And see, with the layer like this is cool because you can always click on it, or click on, and it will bring you back. Anyway. Now we're going to create another adjustment layer. So go to that little circle with the black and white design, and you're going to select brightness and contrast. And then you probably want to adjust your brightness to maybe 4, and then you're going to kind of lower your contrast a little bit. You want it to be kind of subtle. Alright, and then when you're done, again you can click the little X, and this is the end of part 3, and I will see you guys later for part 4. We're almost there. Okay, I made a mistake. So actually go back to your brightness and contrast, and you can bring it back up by sort of clicking on it. And actually you want your contrast to be much higher. I made a mistake. So I think you want it like at between 60 and 80. So I'm going to stick with 68. And then your brightness not too bright. So maybe we knock it down to 4. Anyway, well, on the tutorial it gave different numbers, but since our screens are calibrated differently, I think 50 and 4 look the best. But you guys play around with it and then sort of think what looks best. In the next part, we're going to do these little flicks of flame. So I'll see you then. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys to save your work. So make sure you go to File, Save As, and you know what to do. I promise this is the last time I'm going to come back. See you at the next part.